queens. Welcome to another episode of Queen Up. I am Lady Nicole, and I am so happy that you have decided to join us for this episode of Queen Up, where we are focused on relationships. Before we get started, I need to introduce our royal representatives. First, we have Dr. J.
Hi.
Tori, Lola, and Kim B.
Hello.
Okay, let's get into it, ladies. Okay, we're talking about relationships. Okay, our first Queen Quality segment. Should gifts be returned after a breakup? Kim B, let's hear it, lady.
No. In relationships, that means that I have invested time, commitment, and faithfulness. So whatever was given to me, I hope in love, I'm going to receive it and I'm going to keep it.
All right. That was quick and easy. Okay, so what about if somebody gives you an engagement ring and you break up? Does that need to be given back?
No, sorry.
Keep that?
Keep it.
So
It's just my opinion, but I worked for it. I've been faithful. I've been invested.
You earned that
Committed.
thing. That's right. You earned it. Okay, because normally the engagement ring is a sign of a commitment that leads toward marriage. So if you don't get to the marriage portion, it's okay to keep
He gave it to me.
He gave it to
gift
you.
is a
Finders
gift.
keepers, right?
Not finders keepers, but
No
he gave
Indian
it to
giver?
me. I'm not, no. No Indian giver.
Got it.
And what do I always say, Nicole? What do I say? Keep it moving. This stays for Kim. Keep it moving. Nope.
That
And
is-
don't ask for it back either.
That is the motto. Okay, Tori, what do you think? Should a woman or man give gift back, maybe an expensive gift after a breakup?
I think that giving gifts back in any capacity is just not okay. Like
Yeah.
friendships, relationships, if you've given somebody something, you should not expect it back. Now, like Kim B mentioned about an engagement ring, or like you, Lady Nicole, if it's like a family heirloom, or like this is
Now,
my grandmother's
something
ring,
like that is different.
you know,
Right.
I'll
Let
give
me-
that back.
Let me take
you know?
that back. If it's grandma's,
Mhm.
maybe mom.
Right.
Depends how. It depends if I like the mom or not.
Exactly.
But if you just went to the store and spent your money on it,
Right, I'm keeping.
and we broke up, I'm not giving it back. And please don't ask for
And
it.
don't ask.
Don't ask for it back.
Enough.
Okay. What about you, Dr. J?
Oh, Lord.
Well, I'm in the camp with Kim. I mean, that's a hard one. I mean, the question is, do I want it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
there could be
okay.
a situation where it's like,
You're
you
right,
know what?
Dr. J.
Take it.
You are so right, because you know what? After everything is over, I really don't want anything from him. But I still don't think I'm giving that ring back.
Well, let me say that.
How about the other stuff? Can I just throw everything else in the bag and just...
You could.
Take
But
it to his mother's
another
house.
option might be to sell it or pawn it. I mean, that's not giving it back, and that's still getting credit for what you've invested.
I like that.
Yes, okay.
So
What
I
about you,
don't know.
lady?
Well, I've been in that situation.
Oh, wow.
I actually have. I was engaged
Okay.
and I didn't get the ring back. However,
Okay.
I left. And I left him with everything for my peace of mind.
Oh, you know that's right, Lola.
Yes.
Yes.
That came first for me.
See, yes.
Yes.
Peace of mind
Yes.
is a beautiful thing.
Walk
we
away.
love
Mhm.
that.
Right away.
Absolutely.
We
Yes,
love
y'all.
that.
Yes, we do.
Peace of mind.
Yes.
Yes.
But I did keep that ring.
Did you sell it? Wait, did you sell it or?
Yeah, I pawned it.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so you heard it. Okay, if there's a breakup, don't ask for the Gucci bag back. Okay?
In the
Sorry.
fine shoes. No.
Yes.
In that.
Okay, moving on. The second time around, so J-Lo and Ben Affleck, they have decided to give it another go. How do we feel about giving an ex another chance? This will be interesting. Dr. J, you want to start us off?
Oh, why not? I mean, in any case, you have to look at, well, what you were in before.
Right.
So, I mean, if you were in some crazy relationship before and then you're going back to another, I mean,
Right.
So it's not so much, because people grow, they
Yes.
evolve or
Yes.
Change.
but sometimes they don't.
Right.
Yes.
So, I mean, it just depends on why you left, and is it the same thing that you left, you just say, well, maybe it wasn't so bad. I mean, you know, so it just depends.
But
So-
so back and forth,
Right.
back and forth.
But at the
That's what I.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, honestly, J-Lo and Ben, whatever.
Right. Exactly. Tori.
I disagree. I agree with Dr. J. I mean, it could be, right place, wrong time type of thing, and then you might need to circle back around. But if you left the relationship for like a toxic reason or it was a toxic relationship, those things are still going to come up again. It doesn't matter how
Yes.
much growth it's been, you're probably still going to be dealing with those issues, especially if they've been unresolved. So I think anyone needs to be cautious of revisiting old flames
Yes.
of any sort.
Definitely.
Going back
I
and forth.
completely agree. I believe that you are an ex for a reason.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Lola.
Same thing. If I left you, I gave you enough chances
Okay.
beforehand before I left.
To get it right.
So you had an opportunity to get right, and you didn't. So no, I'm not going back.
Okay, Kim B. Brace yourself, ladies.
No back and forth, back and forth. Time is too short, and I'd rather just move forward, new beginnings,
Yes.
a new start.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna be like Lot's wife and turn back, turn into a pillar of salt. No.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We got it. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our next Queen Quality segment. Dr. J is going to tell us if you should unfriend an ex on social media.
Well, okay, as usual, it depends. I would say in general, I'm not for that. I mean, the whole thing about social media and the people go on it and what they're talking about, I mean, there are people that go play by play. I mean, they tell you everything that they're doing,
Right.
everywhere that they went,
Every movie.
and he hit me, we're good. I mean, it's like, no, we don't,
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy, some of the things that people,
I only have two Facebook friends and they in the same room.
well, okay. But so I say all that to say that, if you're in a good place with your ex, and if they're married and you all are all friends and everything's hunky-dory, and it really is, it's not just pretend,
Right.
because you know how that is, then you can keep track of what everybody's doing. But if there's any toxicity or somebody kind of feels a certain kind of way, or if they're unhappy with their current relationship, just don't bother, because you could trigger somebody.
Right.
They could go back and remember back when, or
Right.
oh, well, what are they doing? Oh, he didn't do that with me. I mean, it's just too much drama.
Yeah.
So my overarching answer is probably not, although there are exceptions. That's my bottom line.
Okay. I like that answer. What about you, Tori?
I mean, I say unfriend. I mean, personally, I think you should unfriend your exes on social media if it was like a valid relationship. And when I mean valid, I mean, is this high school? If you date in high school, or you my boyfriend in high school, you might still be one of my friends on Facebook because it was so long ago.
Right.
But like, if it's any recent relationships that were, extremely important or serious, I think that you should just go ahead and let that go. Because what do you need to be friends for? I don't need to see anything
I
that
agree.
you have going on.
I agree.
I don't want to see it at that point. So.
Now, just to piggyback off of that, so if you decide to stay on social media with an ex, do you think that you need to tell your significant other that, hey, I'm friends with so-and-so, we used to date, but we're friends on social media? Or is that too much information? What do you?
Definitely yes.
I'd say yes.
Yes, tell?
To tell, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to continue to have open lines of communication with
Yes.
your loved one, and continue to be honest with them and forthcoming. It's just you just don't want to mess up what you have now for what
Right.
was before. Yeah.
Right.
So.
What about you?
Well, this is not based on my own personal experience because I don't have any Facebook friends, and no one I've ever dated is on Facebook. So I'm going to go with, if I did have an ex-boyfriend on Facebook and I'm in a new relationship or a marriage, yes, I would do exactly what you said, have an open, honest communication and just say, hey, I'm still friends with X, Y, and Z, just so that home is happy. Because that's my number one thing, is keeping home happy.
Yes, I completely agree. I think you need to be honest about everything. I personally wouldn't be friends with an ex on social media. I have no need to. But yeah, if it was so happened to, get a friend request from someone, like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about you. But, I don't mind. I would definitely tell my husband to give him a heads up. Because my husband is kind of like a social media
Yes,
stalker.
he is. Oh, I don't know about no stalker. I know he's on social media.
Stalker. He will let it be known, I see you. I saw the comment you made. Who are you?
That must be my brother-in-law.
Yes.
Ain't nothing wrong with him,
Yes. And there's no one worth me, putting any doubt in his mind or ruining what I have going on.
A good thing,
It's
amen.
just not worth it, yeah. So, okay. So, all right, ladies, let's move on to our next segment. Have you ever been catfished? Do we know what that is?
I learned today.
Okay. So let's start off with you, Miss Lady. Kim B.
No.
No? Okay.
I have not, and we all know, except the new sisters, that I have been on online dating, and people who I've met say that they are who they are, and when I meet them or FaceTime with them, they are who they are. So it's always been a good experience for me.
Okay, good.
I've never been catfished.
Okay.
Maybe people showing me their representative as
Yeah.
far as their personality,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
how what they do for a living and stuff like that. Yes,
Okay.
but just a complete different person than what I thought they were. No.
Tori?
No, I've never been catfished. I mean, I don't even know how people are still getting catfished, especially like in person, because there's so many ways to see if you're physically the same person on an online profile or on a social media platform. So I don't know how people are getting to the point where they're actually meeting up with their catfish. So I don't know.
But they catfish.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a no.
key.
No?
Can't say that I have.
Yeah, neither have I. So how do we feel, what if you were talking to someone online, you kind of fell in love with their personality, you laughed, you talked, you have pictures of this person and what you think they look like, and you finally, after months of talking, months of laughing and getting to know this person, you meet up with them and the picture is completely different than what they presented to you.
Well, let me start. Number one, I would not be texting with someone for months. That's number one. If I start a conversation, let's say on Tuesday, and by the next following Saturday, they're not saying something like, hey, let's meet up for coffee or whatever, I'm not going to be somebody's text girlfriend. So I will cut you off at the kneecap. So that's one reason why I've never been catfished. But the spin off is people always say, hey, what you doing this weekend? Do you want to meet or whatever? So I've never had someone to kind of like drag it on for weeks and months. That's wasting a lot of time.
Okay, so let's just say if that happened and you got to the restaurant or wherever, the museum, and the person that you thought, was whomever, was not that person, what would your reaction be?
Hi, nice to meet you. I don't know who you are, but nice to meet you. But since you're not the person who I thought you were, I'm not playing any game. You know I'm not playing any game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it moving and cut you off at the kneecap.
Yeah.
And if I have to, I'm gonna get my big brother, who's the stalker, to reach out to you.
So lay hands.
Amen. Pray for him. Let's pray for him.
Jesus' name. Okay, Tori.
Wow.
I think that I would, if I seen them first, I think I would just leave. Because it's the audacity for me. Like,
Yeah.
you literally just, led me on, and then in person you're a completely different person. I don't want anything to do with you.
Okay.
I'm cutting them off at the kneecap, and it's N-O, like Kim B says, it's a wrap.
Okay.
All right, ladies. Okay.
And after that, block, delete.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
need to
it.
block.
Yes.
Delete. That's it. Yep.
Mm.
And that's all she wrote.
We don't need to say nothing else.
But
It's
I'm
over.
bummed.
Moving right along. Okay, so is it okay for a lady to shoot her shot? Lola?
Absolutely. If you want something, you go for it.
Okay now, girl, do you?
My name is Lola. Whatever Lola wants. Lola
Oh.
gets.
I like that.
Well, can be. I'm sure it's gonna be hard to imagine, but I'm a little conservative. So I wouldn't. If I seen somebody that I might be a tad bit interested, and I give you the high look with my eyes, and you don't follow up, that's just not meant for me.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm the same way. I'm a little old school with that. There's not a man on this planet who could say that I pushed up on them.
Amen.
Or I tried to holler at them.
Me
And
either.
again, let me just say this. I respect the women who
Yes,
are able to
yes.
do that. It's
I
just
love it.
that
It's just not me.
it's just not for me. You know, I have nothing against it. It's just not the way that I was going. I feel like if a man sees me and he wants me, then he needs to be man enough to pursue me.
Amen.
Like my husband did.
Woo!
Okay.
Consistent.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Consistent.
Yes, he did.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
Awesome.
and Kim B will tell you, I wasn't looking for no man at that time. I was good. I didn't want to date, but this man was patient and he was consistent
Yes, he was.
with me.
Chocolate and caramel.
No, that's right.
I mean, just to be clear, when you start talking about shooting a shot, you're talking about one shot. I mean, so I agree. Why not?
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
you don't have to do a machine gun. You can, where you're just like constantly over and over and over. Oh, wait. I mean, it's not like that.
I
If I
want you to
flirt
shoot
with
one
you,
shot.
if I
Me
flirt
either.
with you, I flirt with you.
Yeah.
If not, you know,
That's
Yeah.
fine with me.
right. But I would say that if there's somebody that you're interested in,
Yeah,
why not? I mean, I can say for myself personally, I mean, many years ago, I mean, my husband, he was dating somebody else. But I mean, I called him, not because I was like interested in dating him necessarily, but I wanted us to be friends. And here we are, many years
Married.
later. So I'm not saying that would not have happened, but I'm just saying, why not?
Got
If
pump
it's
me
somebody
up
you're
like a
interested
ring
in.
box.
If you're
Again,
confident, you know,
again, I think that it's great for the women who are able to do that. But you know how we do. Everyone doesn't have the same experiences or the same thoughts. And
Yes.
my thoughts is kind of towards what Kim B said, that I just wouldn't feel comfortable. And if you can't interpret it, my smile or maybe a little gleam in my eye, then I'm not for you. If you didn't catch it, then I'm sorry, I'm not throwing nothing to help you. So that's just me.
Right.
What about you, Tori?
I think that women should be able to shoot their shots. I think social media has made it to where that's, more accessible. Maybe like, some years ago it might not be okay, wait for a man to come up to you. But social media, people are in each other's DMs all the time.
Yes.
So it's like, and it really depends on how you're approaching the man. I mean, if you're being thirsty and very,
right.
I'm not thirsty.
then that's a problem.
Yeah.
But if you slide in his DMs after a picture you see him post, say, "Oh, I like that outfit on you." That's kind of like, get in there a little bit. So I think it's fine. It's just the way how you go about it.
The approach.
is
Totally.
important.
Okay. Be classy.
Yeah. Go
Okay.
At all times.
So shooting your shot could just be a little flirtation,
Just
not
a little
necessarily,
Throwing
hey,
yourself
listen,
back up.
I'm interested. Can we go
Yeah.
out on a date?
I wouldn't do that. I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, I like that shirt." That's what I did to my husband. I seen he had a shirt on, and I liked the shirt. And I said, "Oh, I like that shirt. I have the same brand. I have the same shirt."
Okay.
Right?
Look at that fairy tale.
That's right, girl.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be all, hey, let's link up, let's go out. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
Oh, you
So I guess
settle.
there are levels
Yes.
to shooting your
Yeah.
shot.
There we go.
So
I'm learning something,
yeah,
ladies.
so I'm learning too. Okay, so shooting your shot is not necessarily, hey, let's go out on a date. Shooting your shot could also be, Hey, I like your
those
shirt.
shorts, I like
Okay.
your shoes.
Now, I don't see anything wrong with
The
that.
haircut looks mighty good
I love your
today.
haircut.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, the haircut.
I'm glad we settled
Yes,
that.
I understand. Okay. See? Learn something every day.
We should, every day.
Yes, every day. Okay, ladies, let's move on to our final Queen Quality segment. How do we feel about the term being a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets? How do we feel about that, Tori?
I feel like it's necessary. And the reason I say that is because when you have a husband, I feel like they want to have a wife who, you know, in the streets are classy, they're put together. But then when I go home with my husband, I'm not trying to be classy. I'm not going for uptight. I'm not going for put together. I'm not going for any of those things. So I think with your husband, that statement is accurate and necessary.
I agree with that. I agree. What about you, Dr. J?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. And I think that, I mean, if you look in the Bible, Song of Solomon, there's some wild stuff in there. Just saying. So with all that, I mean, yeah, definitely. All for it.
Okay, but it's just important to be a lady in the streets, to conduct yourself accordingly. You know, most men don't want to be embarrassed in the streets, and they don't want everyone else to know what they have at home or what's going on at home. It's just for them.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get home,
No, my.
that's a different story.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think about this?
Well, since I've been to the church and not to the altar, meaning I'm single, I'm just going to be in agreement with Tori and yourself and Dr. J. I really don't have anything to say because I've never been married.
Yeah.
But I do think that some things is just for the husband only.
Right,
Yes.
right. What about you?
I agree as well. I haven't been to the altar either.
But I've been to the church.
But I've been
Okay.
to the church. And yes, you know, I just feel as though, you know, you should continue to always
Keep home happy.
keep home happy and always be a lady.
Amen.
Always.
Classy.
Stay
Always
classy.
be a lady. So let me just kind of piggyback on that. How do we feel about maybe sending a little naughty text throughout the day? Or maybe a naughty picture to your man?
The only thing I'll
To
say
your
about
husband?
that,
To
Or
your
man?
husband.
Oh, to your husband.
Well,
Okay,
let me
there's a
just
difference
interject.
now.
be careful. And I say be careful because there have been times, not just one, where I meant to send it to one
Oh,
person,
no.
and I'm
You
not
sent it to
sending.
somebody else, Dr. J?
I'm not sending naughty texts, but that's an idea. But I've sent stuff and I've been meaning to send it to one person and it went to somebody else or it went to a group. I mean, and you're just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and after it's gone,
You
it's
can't get it
gone.
back.
Right. So I would just say, text carefully, or you know, yeah.
But would you be willing
I
to
would.
send?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I have not to date per se, but that's a good idea. Thank
Right.
you for the idea. I'll let you know.
Well, I'm not going to go into detail, but I have blessed my husband on occasion with, you know, a nice surprise throughout the day.
Nice. Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think it's nice to, one, surprise him, but two, just to keep it interesting.
Keep it spicy.
Yeah.
I like spicy relationships.
But see, the difference is with me is that maybe I'm not too spicy because I'm afraid that, you know, is in cyberspace somewhere or whatever and something
sure.
funky is gonna, you know, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
just give maybe a little thigh. That's it. That's it. That's all.
Not too much.
Yeah. You get the idea. So, you know, okay, what about you, Tori?
I think that you need to know where your husband is at before you send the picture. Because if he's at work and, you know, people are around him, you don't want him to just open this picture and there's his wife like, you know, I'm gonna be like, hey, where are you at? What are you doing first? and then I think you can send it. But don't just. I mean, I get the surprise element, but I don't want everyone else to be surprised too.
That's
Sitting
good
next to
point.
me.
That's good.
So I need to know
Good
his
point.
I need to drop his location first,
Right.
and then if I feel like sending a picture, but the text, I think that's important as well throughout the day. I mean, you can send those, but the pictures, a little bit more cautious of where and when and what time before you hit send and who.
You heard it. Tori said that we need to know where you are, what you're doing, who's around you before we send the picture. Okay?
Can you imagine?
Those are the rules.
Very good idea. Very, very good idea.
Do with your mom.
Is that Tori?
Yeah, like
Yup. Keeping this okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, ladies, so that is it for this edition of Queen Up, where we focused on relationships. We learned how not to be catfished, when and where to send naughty pictures or text messages to your man,
Husband.
to your husband. We learned that it is okay to shoot your shot, and there are different levels.
Yes,
to
yes.
that.
I learned that.
We learned that today. I had no idea.
Me either.
We learned that you should always be a lady,
Classy.
especially in the streets, and break it down in the sheets.
Oh,
Okay?
Jesus.
Yes.
break it off.
All the way. Yes. So thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of Kimby, Lola,